everybody! Who says that? Is that the Simpsons character? I love that. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. Today's Tuesday, for those of you who need a reminder, and we have another group of stories today. It's weird. It's like a slow trickle of like the smallest stories possible that don't really warrant like a full video. This is a rough week. I hope some news comes out soon. It's only Tuesday, and I'm feeling the heat. So yeah, it is the Doctor on The Simpsons. Yes, Debrano. Hello, everybody. So we have 3 stories to go over today. Also, 2 things that I just tweeted about. There's a huge echo. I could turn down the volume a little bit. Maybe that would help. Let's try that. There was the Academy. The Academy made an announcement that while theaters are closed, any movie that opens on streaming will be eligible for the Oscars still. And then also Variety put out an article that said they did a poll and that only 40% of people polled said they would go to a movie theater or a concert or a sporting event. So that's pretty small. 40% is pretty small. But it'll get maybe it'll get movie theaters going. So we'll see. I'm not going to tell you how Ryan Murphy's Hollywood is. I'm going to review it tomorrow when the embargo lifts. All right, so before we get to the 3 stories, but thank you for asking, Chico. I appreciate it. Now, before we get to the 3, you not expect my review because that show is not what you expect. I was shocking. I'll just say one thing. It's got a ton of male full frontal nudity. I was like, whoa, not what I anticipated. I will just tell you, it's largely a show about male prostitution, which was a surprise. All right, so where's everybody watching from today? Natalia is in Miami Beach with Chips. Sebastian's like, I shall be watching it. Vojtuli M is from the Czech Republic. Oh, Nick, I'm so sorry to hear that you tested positive. I'm glad you're self-isolating, and I hope you remain asymptomatic. Geeky Gator is watching from Cape Cod, Massachusetts. Brett is in Sarasota with Fiji water. Oh, I love it. Melanie's having a bacon cheeseburger. Oh, I'm so jealous. Let's see here. Lucas, it's slow. I'm going to review Hollywood. I think people are definitely going to be talking about it. Let's see here. CJ is in Manhattan with Marvel on his couch. Marvel's his dog. Big Witch is gaming in Seattle. That's very sweet of you all to say nice stuff to Nick. Let's see here. Laura S. is in Columbus, Ohio. Nothing fun to eat. I hear you. I got to figure out what to make for dinner. The Chris channel is in Walden, New York. Just ate a Boston cream donut. Where did you get that in quarantine? Lucky is chilling at home in Utah, eating Hot Pockets. That sounds more like quarantine food I have. I ordered stuff to make chocolate chip cookies. I'm so excited. I had to order it from multiple places, and it's taking days to get here. But hopefully by the weekend I should be able to make some. I'm very excited about it. Emmanuel is in West Hollywood. Maria says it's Taco Tuesday. Lucas is watching from Brazil, trying to get mentally healthy. Good for you. I'm starting to really feel this 2 weeks in isolation. I'm not enjoying it. Guy Tomlinson is in a rainy Bollocksbank, England. Oh, the Geeky Gator has 2 10-page essays due on Monday. Well, your teachers I'm glad you still have to do your studying. Chris is in Brooklyn trying to finish his own paper. Super Steve is eating pizza and soda. Greetings from Serbia. Oh, that's awesome. How's pizza in Serbia? Steven's also having pizza in Michigan. Pizza, the food of the world. I had pizza for lunch. I had a little frozen pepperoni pizza. It's delicious. I'm out of them now. It's my last one. All right, so let's get on to today's stories, and you may ask me anything that you would like at the end of the stream when it's an Ask Me Anything portion. All right, and there's one more stream this week, tomorrow on Wednesday, and then the next stream will be on Sunday. All right, now Laura wants pizza. Haha, and everybody wants pizza. All right, so story number 1. Bam. All right, so Trolls World Tour. Some new information came out again today. Now the Wall Street Journal speculated that it's made $100 million, not in one weekend, as it had seemed when it opened, because it did $30 million on day 1, It still is the biggest digital release of all time, because the biggest digital release prior to that, as I reported, was Avengers Endgame, which did 30 million in its first week, whereas Trolls World Tour did 30 million in its first day. But now Trolls World Tour is at 100 million in 3 weeks, which is just a tad behind the first Trolls in theaters, which after 3 weeks is up to 116 million. So they're about on par. So it doesn't seem like they've lost too much money. Or have they? Because this would be potentially their digital money. I mean, we'll have to see what it makes when it does become available to rent for a cheaper price and or purchase. Now, theater owners are like, don't get too excited, everyone. This was an anomaly. And everyone's like, is it? Universal, who released Trolls World Tour, is going to roll the dice again with The King of Staten Island, as we discussed yesterday. And then Scoob from Universal, of course, comes out this month, May 15th. You can either rent it for $20 for 48 hours, or you may purchase it for $25. So here's the thing. I agree with theater owners. I don't think this is a sustainable long-term business model. I feel that part of the reason that people like Trolls World Tour is that it was something they weren't supposed to get, and it had all the prestige of a theatrical release. I still feel that things go direct to streaming don't have the same cachet as things that get a theatrical release. And the theater owners pointed out that since Trolls World Tour was meant to play in theaters, it had the promotional campaign and promotional deals of a theatrical release. Oreo put out Oreo cookies for Trolls, all this kinds of stuff. And the theater owners very cleverly pointed out that you would not be able to get an Oreo cookie deal for a video-on-demand release. I mean, maybe you could if they consistently did these kinds of numbers. Maybe this is like a new, maybe Universal's broken through. But I don't think so. I think that people treat theatrical, people still have a feeling that theatrical, that stuff is a little better quality than something that's direct-to-video. Like at Trolls, if that was a direct-to-video franchise, I think it would be downgraded. Like if Trolls 3 was going to be like, we're going direct-to-video even though we could open in theaters, I think people would think less of it. Joseph says, oh yes, they had Game of Thrones Oreos. Yeah, but Game of Thrones is like an unusual phenomenon. Most direct-to-video movies don't do that well. And Game of Thrones had the benefit of being not only, it was a show, so it wasn't a one-time thing, but that was its final season. And it had become the most watched show in history at that point. So I think it became worthy of an Oreo cookie. But good counterpoint, Joseph. I hope you're doing well, by the way, Joseph. We should all wish Joseph well. He works at Amazon and is taking some time off because someone in his facility was diagnosed with coronavirus. So anyway, we'll see what happens. I still think that this is something that would only happen while while we're waiting for a vaccine. So you could see this happen with more movies over the next year. But again, once there's a vaccine, everything will go back to normal. I strongly believe that in every business, including entertainment. Geeky Gator brings up Extraction. Well, we'll never get Extraction numbers, though, because Extraction is going to have Netflix ratings, which means if anyone watches it for 2 minutes, which includes autoplay, then that becomes something that's that's counted as a view, which I don't think is appropriate. All right, so anyway, that's the first story of the day. The theater owners continue to try to beat back streaming. All right, so story number 2. Let me move my little marker here. Boop. Speaking of streaming movies, this is an excellent streaming movie idea. I can't wait. All right, so there's a movie that Sony was going to make starring Seth Rogen, who you can see pictured there, and Sony was going to release it theatrically. They decided, just like The Lovebirds, also starring a comedian, hey Daniel, just like The Lovebirds starring comedians, Kumail Nanjiani and Issa Rae, is going straight to Netflix rather than going to, like here, some movies are going to streaming services. Artemis Fowl is going to Disney+. My Spy, the Dave Bautista spy movie, which has been delayed a bunch, is going to Amazon. And now this movie is going to HBO Max. HBO Max purchased it. He does look like The Lighthouse Part 2. That's funny, Lloyd. So HBO Max has acquired this film from Sony, and it's a really smart setup. It's called An American Pickle, which is like an American tale. I love it. So Seth Rogen plays a 1920s immigrant named Herschel Greenbaum, who comes to New York hoping to set his family on the new path of bettering his whole family, their lives. He wants a better life for the Greenbaums. But then while he's working at a pickle factory, he falls into a vat of brine and gets all Captain America, and he is preserved in the pickle brine until modern day, when he comes out of the factory and he hasn't aged at all. He's totally he's unpickled. So he goes and he looks up his remaining relative named Ben Greenbaum, who will also be played by Seth Rogen, and he doesn't understand about how crazy his new life is. And I'm sure, by the way, that Ben Greenbaum smokes a lot of pot, because that's how, like, Seth Rogen's whole calling in life, besides making movies. And also, it is like Captain America meets Futurama. I think that's funny. And also, I have to respect Seth Rogen. He's a major proponent of pot, marijuana, but he has his own marijuana business, so he's a very responsible marijuana citizen. But yeah, I do agree with the geeky gator. It does seem like a streaming movie to me, but I'm definitely going to watch it. Good use of the pickle emoji there, Joseph. I think it sounds really good. I think that Seth Rogen usually delivers. I like him a lot. Sometimes he does not deliver, but I think that's rare. For the most part, I really like his movies. So this sounds excellent to me. They didn't give a release date for it. I hope it would be available at launch, but we don't know for sure. They just said sometime this summer. But of course, HBO Max launches in the summer. But I think it's a great project. Yeah, I liked Long Shot too, Czech film, fantastic. I liked it a lot, although I could see why some people didn't. I think maybe in some ways it went a bit too far, but I really enjoyed it. It tested really well too. I don't know why it didn't do better, but unfortunately it did not. All right, so that's the second story of the day. So when HBO Max launches, or soon after, you will get to watch this amazing Seth Rogen movie. All right, story number 3. Oh wait, I'm making it bigger. Darn it. Come on, stupid thing. Boop. All right. So, many of you were very delighted with this headline, and I got a number of you sending it to me today, so that's one of the reasons I included it on the stream. And that's that Goosebumps, which has already been 2 successful live-action movies, both pretty good, by the way. The first one was very good, and the second one, quite frankly, was better than it had any right to be. Jack Black appearing in both of them. So anyway, now that it's after 2 successful movies, Neil H. Moritz, who, by the way, it's funny to me, Neil H. Moritz produces the Fast and Furious movies, or at least he used to, until Universal decided they hated working with him so much that they kicked him off the franchise. So I think it's funny that it's like this really tough Vin Diesel-y kind of guy, and he also makes Goosebumps. But he's done very well with it. It's been, again, 2 successful films, and now he's doing a live-action series. Now, nobody's picked it up yet. This is just being developed. He has the rights from Goosebumps to do a live-action series, and I can imagine someone picking this up. So I think it would be perfect for many streaming services. I don't think Disney, because it's not a Disney brand, but I think that Netflix would, although Netflix has a lot of stuff like this. If I were Peacock or HBO Max, I would want this to balance out things like Lock and Key and Stranger Things and stuff like that over on Netflix. Now, no word as to whether or not Jack Black will star, but how can he not star? I think he is a fabulous fit with the property. He's been in both the movies. And really, to be honest, what else is he doing besides delightful TikTok videos and 2 Jumanji movies? I mean, he's good. I like him. I think he's definitely still kind of a big screen talent, but he can do a prestige screening series. No problem. I think no problem at all. How many of you would watch a Goosebumps series? I don't know if I'd watch it unless I was reviewing it, to be honest with you. I think it might skew a little too kiddie. Yeah, he could narrate, Mika. He just has to come in and bookend it. He just comes in, he doesn't have to star in every episode. I like Computer Man. No. I see a couple of people are into it. Oh, Youngie says absolutely. Oh, more yeses than nos. That's excellent. Yep, if I were Peacock or HBO Max, I would want this bad. The movie lover says no Jack Black is a deal breaker. Although Mikey's like me and says, not my cup of tea. Barbie says, I would want them to go full horror, though. Well, they'd have to have edge to it, or it wouldn't work. But they can't go too full horror, because it has to be for all ages. Or at least, like, 13 and up. Although Elizabeth also says she wants it dark. Ooh, I like it, you guys. You guys are dark. They're making a new Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark movie, by the way, and I really liked that. I thought it was excellent. That was very scary. Although Chuck Film Fantastic just brought that up. All right, so those are the 3 stories of the day. Let me take the marker away. It's 5:21. You may ask me anything you'd like until 5:31. And then I must go back to watching Hollywood. I have 4 episodes to go. I'm going to watch them all tonight. It's 7 episodes total. They're not all an hour, though. You've got to get these shows earlier. This is like a lot of watching stuff. I didn't watch Code 8 yet, Youngie74. I meant to, but it's difficult because I can't cover it. It's too late, and so I have to watch all this other stuff. Like you can see, and also I'm trying to get it. I said they would give it to me, but they haven't given it to me yet. It's a little early, but I'm trying to get the screener for Justice League Dark Apocalypse War. Sharon says aliens, just in general. Yeah, I can't believe it. No more. I just can't have aliens. It's too bad. Waffles, I didn't see a Wonder Woman flying thing that you sent me. Let me check. Did you send it to me? Like as a message? I don't see it anywhere. Although someone did send me how CNBC had a breaking news graphic for the Oscars thing. They are as desperate for content as all of us. Elliot says, do you hope that Disney does more behind-the-scenes movies like Saving Mr. Banks? Hey, Black Cheese. No, I do not, because I don't think it makes Disney look particularly good. There are some bad stories about how business was conducted at the Mouse. It's not good. Oh, Lucas says, Grace, is there a Daring Chris frontal nudity scene on Hollywood asking for a friend? Not yet, but I'm only 3 episodes in. Survivor, oh, hey, Red, said, do you think Disney has any chance of winning TV awards? That's a good question. Mandalorian for special effects, yes, for sure. I think for sure. I'm excited for that documentary behind the scenes. That'll be good. Thomas, my MCU and DCU rankings will come out later this week when I'm not doing streams, so like Thursday and Friday. Check Film Fantastic. I didn't get a DM from you. I'll check again. Here it is. Yeah, I can't post that. I'm gonna get in so much trouble. I told you, Warner Brothers. It's. By the way, it's only okay. Hey, Luis. Waffle said, could Shazam 2 take Aquaman to a spot to get away from Mission Impossible 7? I would, actually, that's an excellent idea. I would do that, because I think that if they're going to do Namor, they just can't do an Aquaman that year. I think it would be just too much. You can't have that. You can't have Namor and Aquaman the same year, especially if Namor comes first. It's a disaster. I don't think Marvel should do that, quite frankly. I think it's a little bit too aggressive, in my opinion. But I would move. Shazam's going to get killed by... Shazam's going to get killed by Mission Impossible, so it should move. I think that's a good idea. I'm loving Mrs. America. Who asked that? Alex, I'm loving it. I actually bought the season pass through Apple TV, so I have to watch the episodes on Thursdays instead of Wednesdays, but it's such a good show. I love it. And nobody watches or cares about it because it's on Hulu. It's very sad. I hope the same thing doesn't happen to Love Victor. Oh, Samir, I'm so glad you enjoyed the Imagineering story. Addison says, most anticipated summer movie for 2021. Oh, that's a good one, because I just put the video out. So many. Like Shang-Chi, I'm very curious to see how Marvel does that kind of representation. Venom 2, I think that Cruella, it's looking like a good summer. It's a lot of empty spaces, but I think it's looking good. David says, thanks for the Succession recommendation. All of their shows are now garbage. It's true. Although Billions starts on Sunday. I'm very excited. I still like Billions. Although I went from Suits to Billions to now Succession. But I'm still going to watch Billions. Jonathan, I agree that Love Victor seems very mature. And I can see why it's not a Disney Plus show. Although a number of people are arguing that it's not that mature, I think it's incredibly adult. There's no way something like that could be Disney Plus, no matter what the sexual orientation of its characters were. So I'm a little disheartened to see some people defending it. I think they're letting their emotions get in the way. Zach says, what film would you go back to theaters for? I would go back to theaters for any movie because it's my job. I have to go. So if they will not give me a screener to watch at home, I must go to the screening. Now, my hope is Warner Brothers has some screening rooms here in the city, so my hope would be that they would have their screening for Tenet at their own private screening room. If not, I would hope that it's a IMAX movie, so the IMAX theater is actually really big that they would take us to. So I would hope they would just do like social distancing and just rent it out for the day, so we wouldn't have to be too close to each other. And I couldn't have snacks; I'd have to wear a mask. So that's gonna make it like less fun. But if I were a civilian, that's a whole different conversation. If it didn't have to go for work. What do I miss most about going to the movie theaters, Noel? Oh, I like a giant soda and a popcorn and just sitting down and watching the movie. I just miss that. It's really fun. But I'm trying to give up soda for real now because I finally looked at the ingredients and I ordered some natural ginger ale, which is my new soda of choice. Chico, I'm probably going to watch Prop Culture on Disney Plus when it drops. They gave me the episodes in advance, but I don't really think that's the kind of show anybody wants. It's not a good show for me to review. Stephanie, the Slurpees are quite tasty. I agree. Thank you, Oh Fudge Muffins. Yeah, soda. You know that regular Coke has partially hydrogenated oil in it? I couldn't believe, or some kind of corn syrup, partially hydrogenated corn syrup. I mean, that's not really drinking that with a straw. I was pretty upset about it. Mexican Coke does not. So if you want to drink Coke, go get Mexican Coke. Chris, I'm not sure how Corona will affect award season. I think we're too far out from award season to totally be able to tell. Terry says, I miss going out, period. Tell me about it. Dancing Dog says, thoughts on the rise of pirating. I haven't seen any stories about it. I'm not surprised with so many people out of work. They're just going to have to develop better ways to protect piracy from happening. What's going to happen is you're all going to get a printed thing on your screen. When I get a screener, it writes my name and my IP address on the screen, and it changes it like every once in a while. And it kind of sucks, but I get to watch it early. So I think the same thing might happen to maybe they would do that to all streaming services, and that way they'd be able to trace that you leaked it. Fotis, I'm sorry that YouTube didn't update you. YouTube sometimes is glitchy. Got 2 minutes. Lloyd, I didn't think there was really anything in that video. It's too hard to tell what we're looking at. Max, I did see that headline. They sure threw up a bunch of Avengers Endgame little tidbits yesterday, right? You're like, what am I going to do with any of this? Mark says, favorite flavor of cake. I like chocolate cake with vanilla frosting. That's my jam. It's delicious. Thomas says, will you include the Dark Knight trilogy and Joker in your DC ranking? I have to see, do all DC movies? I probably will, because that's more fun. That's going to make it a longer video. It's really hard to make videos at this time. If it's not a breaking news story, it's a video that requires a tremendous amount of more work, and then there isn't as much interest because not as many people are online. So it's really tough. Well, that's my problem, not your problem. Elliot says, cupcakes or cake? I like both. It depends what I'm in the mood for. I don't listen to any K-pop, Troy. I'm afraid not. Stephanie, you can DM me on Twitter. I don't answer most of them, though, because I get a lot, just to be fair, just so you know. Alberto, the MCU movie video is going to be ridiculously long. Nana says, what are your favorite YouTube channel? Besides my own. I really like How It Should Have Ended. I think they're hilarious. I love them. Let's see here. Mika says, what music do I listen to? I listen to a lot. I have Apple Music, so I listen to their radio station. I listen to Current Radio, and then I listen to Johann Strauss II to calm down. Also, I listened to a lot of Greatest Showman recently. I'm so happy, Fudge Muffins. Elliot says, Grace, how about a Disney movie about Walt Disney making and opening Disneyland Park? I don't know. I don't think that would be that interesting. I think you should watch The Imagineering Story. Hi, Daniel. Lloyd Lester says, do you watch any shows on CBS? I do. I watch Man with a Plan and Mom on Thursday nights. I think they're fantastic. Rose says, Grace, do you think that Warner Brothers will move Wonder Woman 1984? I think its best bet is 2020. Best bet in 2020 would be the mid-December release date. That's going to put it very close to Black Widow, but it was going to be close to Black Widow anyway. Yeah, with 40%, I mean, Tenet and Mulan will go first if they don't move. But I think that, bye Mika, I think that like August seems very soon to me. I just don't know. And also, almost the entire Wonder Woman plot is out there. Like, for instance, some people today were like, why don't you cover this Lego set from Wonder Woman? And I'm like, it would be hard for me to cover without giving away the entire ending of the movie, which I know. Which is weird that I know the entire ending of the movie. So that's rough. Wonder Woman has taken too long to come out, quite frankly, which is another reason that maybe they should just move it. Yeah, Rocker Dude, maybe that Venom date. I know that a Michael B. Jordan movie took it, but it's, Wonder Woman could beat that. All right, I better get going. I have a lot of Hollywood to watch. My review will go up tomorrow. So everybody, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you to those who are members. Thank you even if you're not. I appreciate you tuning in. And tomorrow's stream, by the way, is at noon. Tomorrow's stream is at 12 noon, okay? Because I have to get my food deliveries now on Wednesday afternoons. All right, see you later, everybody.